Okay, welcome back to the deep dive. So you sent us a really fascinating stack of material on this specific spot in Port Dickson, Malaysia, PD Waterfront. And our mission today, well, it's to dive right into your sources. Looks like we've got some descriptive guides, maybe some more evocative stuff too, something hinting paradise by the water. We're going to try and sift through it all, pull out the key insights, see what these different tastes tell us about why this place might be a must visit.
Exactly, yeah. We're not just gonna read off a list of features. The idea is to analyze the information you provided, understand the practical side, the what and the where, but also get a feel for the atmosphere, the overall vibe the sources describe. It's about seeing how these different descriptions mesh together, hopefully painting a really full picture for you.
Right. And just from a quick glance, it seems like the big theme coming through is that PD Waterfront isn't, just another pretty beach. The sources paint it as this really vibrant, modern kind of hub. Loads of different activities, food, places to chill out. And yeah, those sunsets seem to be a huge deal of the material.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's start with the absolute basics then. According to the stuff you shared, what is PD Waterfront exactly?
Well, the sources mostly describe it as a contemporary seaside esplanade, a leisure area that's been purpose-built, seems like. And it's highlighted as being right in the middle of Port Dickson town. The materials kind of contrast it with some of the older, maybe more traditional PD beaches, presenting this as, more modern, updated facilities, clean, organized. Think of it like a public space, designed specifically for people to hang out, do stuff, eat, and just soak up that coastal feeling, but in a well-structured setting.
Oh, okay. So less wild beach, more like a curated coastal experience zone. And the location, you said central. How central?
Yeah, crucially central, it seems. It's placed right in the main town area of Port Dickson. That's in Negeri, Sembilan, Malaysia, which apparently makes it pretty easy to access, especially by car. The sources do mention parking, saying there's ample parking. Though they also add a little note of caution, ample might not feel so ample during peak times, like weekends or holidays. It can get crowded.
Right, makes sense. Being right in town sounds super convenient, though, like a good hub.
Exactly. Good base, easy stop if you're exploring.
Okay, so we get what it is and where it is. Why do these sources keep calling it a must visit? What are the big attractions, the key experiences they talk about?
Okay, number one, hands down, mentioned again and again in the material, the spectacular sunsets. Seriously, they really emphasize this. The sources explain it's because it faces west, so you get these amazing, totally unobstructed views of the sun going down right over the Straits of Malacca. They talk about, vibrant colors lighting up the sky.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That classic golden hour magic, but amplified.
Yeah.
I can totally see why that'd be the main event. But it can't just be the sunset, right? What else does the material highlight?
Well, another major focus is the promenade. It's described as really spacious, wide paved walkways, perfect for just strolling leisurely, jogging, cycling. They even mention bike rentals are often around. Or just grabbing a bench, chilling out, watching people go by. It comes across as a really inviting, easy space to just be near the water, whether you're moving or sitting still.
So it sounds like it's built for both getting active and finding some calm, sort of depending on what you're after. And does it feel like it caters to everyone, different groups?
Definitely seems that way. The sources specifically mention a family-friendly atmosphere. They talk about kids' playgrounds being usually there, lots of open space for kids to just run around, and apparently kite flying is a really big thing there. You see lots of families doing that. Maybe having picnics, too. Sounds like a natural gathering spot.
Kite flying by the sea.
Yeah, that connects back to that slightly more evocative feeling we saw hinted at, right? That sense of freedom, letting go.
Absolutely. That source, the one titled something like Paradise by the Water, it really leans into that relaxed, joyful kind of feeling. It talks about the beauty of it all, the sea breeze, palm trees, the ocean view, and it suggests things like, walking by the shore, letting your worries drift away, just being in the moment. It uses very sensory words. Feeling the sun's warmth, getting your toes near the water, and of course back to those golden sunsets again. It really supports this idea that even with the modern setup, there's this core paradise environment feel to it.
That's really interesting, isn't it, how the sources describe both things side by side. The practical, modern structure paved paths, designated areas, and then these more, intangible feelings. Getting your feet wet, simple coastal joys. Feels like a deliberate mix. It really does. It's not just a modern development, and it's not just a natural beauty spot.
Yeah.
The descriptions suggest it manages to blend them, offers this structured space for fun that also has these amazing natural views and chances for simple connection with the sea and the air.
Okay. And while you're there, soaking it all in, maybe after a walk or watching that famous sunset. People are going to get hungry. What do the sources say about food?
Yeah, food gets a good mention. They highlight a diverse range of dining options, F&B outlets for like different tastes and budgets. You've got the familiar international fast food places, McDonald's, Starbucks, Kenny Rogers Roasters are mentioned. Gives it that modern hub feel, I guess. But then also local spots serving Malaysian dishes, seafood, and cafes too for coffee or snacks. And they specifically call out the experience of eating with a sea view as a big plus.
Right, so comfort food or local adventure, all with the waterfront nearby.
Nice. Okay, beyond walking and eating, any other fun stuff mentioned? Activities. Yep, besides the strolling and the food, they list other recreational activities. We talked about kite flying, super popular. Also, bubble blowing. Apparently, seeing those giant bubble wands is pretty common. Sometimes, maybe small amusement rides or game stalls pop up, adding a bit of a fun fair atmosphere. And, oh yeah, fishing is possible from certain spots too, according to the material.
It sounds like the whole feel of the place could change quite a bit depending on when you go.
That's exactly what the sources imply about the vibe. It can be really lively and bustling, especially evenings, weekends, public holidays. That's when it's buzzing with energy, lots of people around. But, and this is key, the material also says that during the week, or maybe in the mornings, it can be way more serene and relaxing, so you can find peace and quiet there too.
That's actually great insight. You can almost pick your experience by timing your visit. And for people who like to capture those moments, the camera's ready.
Definitely flagged as a photogenic spot. Not just for the main event, the sunsets, but also just capturing the general seaside scenery, the local life, whether it's buzzing or calm. Lots to photograph, it seems.
So if someone was planning a trip, just based on this material we're looking at, when's the best time to aim for? Especially for those sunsets.
The sources strongly suggest late afternoon going into the evening. That's prime time for the sunset, obviously. But it's also when the air cools down a bit, and like we said, when the place really comes alive, gets that vibrant feel. Now, if you want that busy, lively buzz, aim for weekends or public holidays. If you'd rather have it quieter, more peaceful, then weekdays or mornings are your best bet, according to this info.
And it really sounds like it's not just for one type of visitor.
No, not at all. The sources are quite clear. It appeals to a wide audience. Families, with the playgrounds and open space. Couples for the romantic sunsets and walks. Friends looking for a cool hangout spot with food and stuff to do. Even solo travelers described as a safe, pleasant place to just relax, read, enjoy the view. Seems to draw in both locals and tourists. Broad appeal.
It really does sound incredibly versatile, hitting a lot of different notes. Okay, any final, practical tips that popped out from the sources, stuff that would be genuinely useful?
Yeah, there are a few helpful pointers scattered through the material. They mention again that parking can be tough at peak times, so maybe get there early or think about using ride-hailing. Definitely wear comfortable shoes. Sounds like you'll want to walk that promenade. Bring a camera, especially if you're keen on the sunset shots. And remember, it's open air, so check the weather. Oh, and stay hydrated, especially if you're there when it's hot during the day.
All sounds like solid advice, straight from the sources you sent over.
Oh.
So let's try and pull this all together. Everything we've dug into from this deep dive, the modern design, activities, food, the vibe, those killer sunsets. Why ultimately do these sources frame PD Waterfront as a must visit? What's the final takeaway?
Well, the conclusion you get from reading all this material is that it's positioned as more than just another beach spot. It's framed as the modern heart of Port Dickson. It offers this really compelling mix, genuine, stunning natural beauty, especially those sunsets, but combined with a whole load of planned activities and amenities for everyone. You've got the varied food choices, that interesting contrast between lively buzz and quiet calm, depending on timing. It's presented as kind of encapsulating the whole accessible, enjoyable coastal experience Port Dickson's known for. And the sources really lean into this idea that it's a place where different kinds of memories get made. A kid flying a kite, a couple watching the sunset, friends grabbing food by the sea, that kind of thing.
That really does paint a picture. A place balancing the planned with the spontaneous, the modern structure with the natural setting. Okay, so thinking about everything we've unpacked in this deep dive, looking only at your sources, what aspect of PD Waterfront stands out most to you? Is it that promise of just breathtaking sunsets over the Straits of Malacca that the sources can't stop talking about? Or is it more the lively, bustling scene, families, friends, everyone enjoying themselves that the material describes? Or maybe it's those simpler, more evocative things, hinted at that feeling of letting worries go, flying a kite, just getting your toes near the water.
It's interesting. The sources use phrases like modern coastal heartbeat. They call it a place of stunning natural beauty. And also mention its lively yet relaxed atmosphere. So here's a final thought, maybe something for you to chew on, that kind of emerged for me from reading this material. How does a modern, clearly planned development hearing, with paved paths and chain restaurants right there, manage to also capture the heart of a coastal town, while at the same time providing these moments of real natural beauty and making people feel like they're in some kind of paradise where worries can fade? It suggests perhaps a really thoughtful design, one that didn't just build on the coast but somehow works with what makes the coast special in the first place. A blend that seems, according to these sources anyway, surprisingly effective.